Prepare a presentation and then I do without the presentation. So it's better to just speak my mind off and brief you a little bit on where I come from. So it may be going a little bit beyond just investment, just green economy. Now, we spent this the third day. What is green economy? Can someone tell me what is green economy? In simple, one sentence. What is why green and why green economy? You know, before getting into the areas of investments of green economy, I used to work for UNEP for some 27 years. Okay, and the main actually towards the last 2-3 years of my tenure with UNEP, we came up with the idea of launching the UNEP Green Economy Initiative. That was in 2008. Why did we come up with this? Why green economy? And actually, I guess most of you would know that green economy is not a new concept. It has been sort of coined in 1980 or 1998 when three economists wrote a publication called The Blueprint for Green Economy. And actually one is American, is Ed Barbier, the other two are British, one with Indian roots, his name is Anil Markanya, and late David Pierce, who passed away several years back. When they came up with this notion of this idea, it didn't receive that acceptability at that time. I guess the world community was not yet prepared to accept that notion of greening economies. Why we came up with this, revived this whole concept once again in 2008 was basically because we found that though there has been a lot of progress and success on a number of fronts in terms of achieving sustainable development, not much has been achieved as has been hoped for by the international community, let me put it this way. And that's why when they did the assessment of the MDGs and the Sustainable Development Goals and whatever, they said, fine, there was some success, but it wasn't the success that was expected at that time. So, when the financial crisis broke out in 2008, and given the fact that also in spite of the amount of effort, not just UNEP, the United Nations Environment Program, which I used to work with, but other UN agencies and the international community in general, the environment continues to suffer as we speak today. So, yes, we had several conventions on dealing with biodiversity, dealing with desertification, addressing, of course, climate change issues and other issues. Almost all areas, all critical problems dealing with the environment that one would think of had a convention. Yet, as we see, as we hear, we still see that the environment continues to degrade. Biodiversity is the problem. Climate change is a major problem again. So that's on the environment front. On the social front, more or less, yes, some progress in terms of dealing with poverty here and there. Major achievements in India, in China. But the social aspect is still a problem. I mean, if we talk about social equity or social justice, in terms of addressing poverty, especially in countries like our countries, in African countries, still continues to be a problem. The gap between rich and poor, within countries and between countries. So this is the second dimension, as we know, of sustainability. We have the environment as a problem. social aspect is a problem. And then we ended up by having the financial crisis 2008. And as we speak again, the world community is facing some sort of slowdown in terms of GDP, global growth of GDP, and in terms of trade, level of trade has sort of slowed down. So these are the three dimensions which are meant to be really addressed and meant to be complementary, but there is a problem. So that's when we felt that we needed really to find out what was the core problem of all of this. Why hasn't the world community really addressed sustainable development in the way that they have hoped to achieve that rate of development? So we decided to sort of establish a technical working group comprising of not just economists, of course, environmentalists, sociologists, from within the UN system and outside the UN system to find out what is going on. Why in spite of all these efforts in trying to achieve sustainable development, things didn't work out as been hoped for. And through a series of meetings, actually the group of experts came up with, let's say, 4 or 5 main reasons for not being able to achieve sustainable development. The first one was the communication package, the message. What message have we been given? And when I say we, it's not just UN organizations, but generally the international community in general. What kind of message have we been given to policy and decision makers? And the fact that we have been focusing very much on the environment in isolation from the economic aspect. The link between investing in the environment and generating income, creating jobs, diversifying the economy, and being more competitive and accessing international markets did not come out clearly in our communication. So when we used to preach the environment, we go to country, let's say we go to country X, sub-Saharan Africa, or an African country in general, and try to preach the environment, fine, there, we're interested, but we're more interested, and our priorities lie somewhere else. They lie within creating jobs, generating foreign exchange earnings, accessing international markets, or more on the economic front rather than on the environmental issues. And the link between environment and the economy was not really clear in our minds. So that was one thing. And of course, when we say communication package, we're here talking about packaging the message we want to give to different stakeholders in a different way. We need to speak the language of different stakeholders. The way we speak to government officials, not just any government official, the way we speak to or talk to people from Ministry of Trade is different than when we speak to someone or somebody, experts from Ministry of Finance, Agriculture, Industry. You need to speak the language that they understand, meaning that they need to see the benefits accruing to make this transition to green and sustainable economy on their sector. And at the same time, delivering on the social and environmental front. In other words, not compromising the environment. So that's the communication package. Linked to that very much is the linkage between, because always it has been the starting point for us was there are trade-offs between economic development and environmental conservation. That if we want to pursue economic development, then it has to be done, we have to compromise the environment and the social aspect. And if we wanted to take care of the environment and social aspect that will deter economic development. So that is again starting from the wrong premise that it's either or, that there is a trade-off between economy and the environment, rather than establishing clearly the link between the three dimensions of sustainability, that investing in the environment and investing in the social dimension spurs out economic development, or contributes directly to economic development, directly and indirectly to economic development. And this is the key message here, that linkage between the three dimensions of sustainability is key in achieving sustainable development. That was the second finding that the group found, that three aspects of sustainable development were not addressed, were not balanced enough. The other was linkages or cross linkages between the different sectors, that if we are developing, let's say, we want to develop sustainable communities, then we're talking about energy, we're talking about water, we're talking about transport system, we're talking about housing, we're talking about education, health. So the cross linkages between sectors and moving away from the silo thinking approach, that we just develop strategies in isolation from one another, without establishing a link, without being really concerned about. So here, that's why we're talking more about adopting a multidisciplinary approach in developing policies and in implementing them. That was the third finding. The fourth one, really, which they found as one of the main reasons not achieving sustainable development. In most of the cases, you'll find it's going to be rarely that you find harmonization between them, that you will find in most of the cases that Ministry of, let's say, Housing will develop its own regulatory framework, Ministry of Water, the same thing, Energy, the same, without link. It's like, let's say, Ministry of Environment, when they want to develop a regulatory framework, and they do this independent from other ministries, or they have to work closely with other ministries. I think it's key that they need to develop this in consultation with other ministries. If we're talking about, for instance, if the target for a country to reduce CO2 emissions by a certain figure, it has to be decided upon together with the Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Planning, so that the outcome, because it's not the Ministry of Environment which is reducing the CO2 emissions, it's the other sectoral ministries really that are contributing to that. So there has to be harmonization in the way we develop regulations. By the same token, if we talk about market incentives, they have to be in line with the regulatory framework. You cannot have, if we're talking about CO2 emissions, for instance, and then at the same time you have countries or governments providing or giving subsidies to fossil fuel. So you're encouraging fossil fuel, but at the same time you have a regulation which says you need to cut down on CO2 emissions. So you need again to have the market incentives in line with regulatory framework. In other words, supportive to the regulatory framework. And there is a number of other policy tools like trade policies, like finance policies, like research and development, how these instruments can be designed in such a way that they contribute to one aim, which is, of course, at the end of the day, we're talking about human welfare. Whether we call it green economy, we call it sustainable development, the core of any development program is to achieve human welfare. So these were The fifth one actually was the political economy issue, meaning that there are, not just companies, private sector, people in not just businesses and government who wouldn't want to make a major shift or major change, and they would like to maintain the status quo because they have vested interests in maintaining the situation as it is and making a shift, making a transition or a paradigm shift in the development would damage or would impact their political status or their financial status. So they always would be standing against any major change in policies and in investments. So that's basically the why we came up with the notion that instead of just teaching the environment in isolation, let's attack the environment or deal with the environment with the economic aspect. Is it good business or not to invest in the environment? Does it create jobs or not? Does it create new economic opportunities or not? Otherwise, we're going to lose audience, we're going to lose policy decision makers, and we're not going really to attract their attention to make a major shift in their policies. So that is, your definition, which is basically that. So yes, we come from the environment, with the environment background, but if it's not going to contribute to some development gains or financial gains, then no one is interested to make the shift. So that's why the communication package had to be different. And we had to make the point that investing in natural resources and human capital is key for making a qualitative shift towards development and towards human welfare. That's in a nutshell the whole idea behind green economy and how it came about, and why really, and we keep on saying, green economy is not something new, and it's not something different from sustainable development. It's just basically a tool to achieve sustainable development. Now, let me stop at this point. If there are any questions or any interventions that we would like to make before I go through quickly the presentation. But basically the presentation, what I just mentioned is more or less what we're going to see, but I'm going to focus more on areas of investments. What does green economy mean in different sectors? But unless there are any specific questions or interventions anyone would like to make, green economy, it's up to each country to design its own, of course, strategies based on its priorities. So the idea is to what kind of principles constitute green economy, and that may differ slightly from one country to the other. All right? Definition of what green economy is. Let's be clear on this. Okay, that's one thing. Now the other thing is to achieve sustainable development and green economy. It's the entire society has to work together. It's not just the government. It's the government, it's NGOs, civil society, it's the private sector, it's women, it's youth, right? It's the entire, otherwise it's like, the way I look at it, it's a complete cycle, it's a complete circle, sorry. If one of those is not functioning, it's like the whole circle doesn't function. Because imagine, for instance, if some stakeholders or communities are left from this equation, the whole cycle will break. It's like, okay, if youth are not engaged, can we have sustainable development? How are you going to we're talking about future generations. And if you're not part of the decision-making process, if women are not part of the whole, how can you achieve sustainable development? So the media, all stakeholders need to be important, and each stakeholder has a role to play achieving green and sustainable development. Okay, that's the other point but again, we need the message to be clear. Because, again, I come from Egypt. If we ask anyone what is sustainable development, each one will have a different definition. So we need to agree what sustainable development is and what does it constitute. It's like exactly what green economy is, what circular economy is. And these are all not substitutes to sustainable development. They are only tools to achieve sustainable development. All right, investing, let's take coal because this is the example here. And this is the argument a lot of us have these days, which is not just now, generally speaking. Okay, developed countries, they went through this path. They have used coal, fossil fuel, coalants, whatever, and they have developed. And now they are cleaning up, or trying to clean up. Why don't we do the same as developing countries? Why don't we follow the same track? We develop in this coal and use and and then once we're well off, we can, that's an argument. But the other argument says, do we need to follow the same path as they have done, or build on their successes and benefit from the failures? If now they are saying that we made a mistake, if now they are saying that global capitalism is a problem, this is what they say. I mean, they haven't admitted bluntly that the capitalist system has failed. But you can see countries like the Scandinavian countries, for instance, they have changed the model into a social democratic system. They are not following what they're saying, and what a lot of economists now, environmental economists, are saying, that you need government intervention. You cannot leave the market to function freely. Because if you do that, yes, there are benefits accruing, but at the same time there are negative implications on the environment and social front. You cannot, I mean, the laissez-faire and laissez-passer and all of that, theories which are developed by economists, Adam Smith and Ricardo and whatever, they have been refuted. And now, environmental economists are saying, no, there has to be government intervention. You cannot leave the market to function on its own, because it is creating what it is creating now. That there are really, even in the States, you can see that. The gap between the rich and poor is ever widening. And if you look at the ranking in a country like the States in terms of human well-being and happiness, you find it not doing that well. As compared to other countries who are not performing that well in terms of GDP growth, but in terms of happiness and welfare, they are much better. So that means, and countries like, Scandinavian countries, they are spending so much money on health, on education. They are cutting down from, of course, the taxes, but they are spending or investing in education, in health, and in basic services. So you don't find the gap between the rich and poor. It's mainly middle-class family is the largest. And when you look at happiness, you'll find them ranking very high. Right? So definitely then, what we're saying, and of course in terms of environmental objectives, is very high in terms of cutting down on pollution. Every day we hear the news about what they're doing. In terms of sustainable communities, cycling, electric cars, walking, right, vis-a-vis private car ownership, mass transport systems. They're making it even free so that they encourage people, residents, to use public transport systems vis-a-vis private car ownership. So the question for us here as developing countries, do we need to follow the same path as developed countries have been pursuing, and then try to correct, which is what they're trying to do? We don't, of course, take the United States as an example because now it's going the other way. But we're taking countries like the Scandinavian countries, you take countries like Korea, for instance, like Malaysia, China, fine, they've done a lot of development, but at what cost? Huge environmental and health implications, which they are trying to rectify now, at a cost. At a cost. So the question is, or the challenge is, can we do development without compromising the social element? And that's the challenge. This is the key to all of this. This is the argument that we are all talking about. Why not try to follow a sustainable development path? We do development without compromising the environment and achieving human welfare. So this is now the third point. In Egypt, for the last 60 years, we have been following the conventional model. Where did it take us? Not far. Though, as you all know, Egypt is one of the richest countries in terms of resources. The Nile, the water is there, the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, natural resources, oil, natural gas, human capital. Yet, we had revolutions because the social aspect was not well taken care of, in spite of the fact that we had 7 and 8% GDP growth. It doesn't count. You may have 11%, 12% GDP growth.